Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Chris. I'm a group fitness instructor at the University of North Florida Student Wellness Complex, and today I'll be taking you through a tutorial on a Tabata HIIT style workout. Today's workout is going to consist of 7 different exercises that you'll perform for 8 rounds per exercise. That'll be 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest on each of those exercises. And then you'll take a 1 to 3 minute break in between each exercise round. Before we get started, I'll detail the warm-up, and then I'll break down each workout along with modifications, make it easier or tougher on yourself, and then I'll let you get to it. So first off, the warm-up real quick. It's just going to be 4 different exercises that you'll perform for 20 seconds apiece. So it'll be kind of like the timing for the workout, and then you'll repeat that round 1 time. So the first exercise will just be jumping jacks, so just hands over your head, feet out, like so. And then next one is going to be high knees, so you're just going to get those knees pumping up as high as you can. After that, we're going to go into butt kickers, so you're just kicking those feet up behind you, trying to kick that butt. And then toy soldiers, just a fancy way of saying kick your opposite hand, so left leg to right hand, right leg to left hand for those, and then you'll repeat that all one more time before you get started. Biggest thing with that is get a sweat flowing before you start. It's good to get warmed up before you start working out, get your body primed, ready to go, get those joints ready to move. You don't want to be dying during the warm-up. Don't be like killing yourself, trying to be too out of breath before you get started, but do get yourself breathing heavily and sweating on that. So first exercise today would just be burpees. So these are going to be you're just going to come down to the ground like so, kick your feet back behind you, go into a push-up, push yourself back up, feet back up to that original stance, and then you're coming up and jumping at the top. If you want to throw a clap at the top if it makes you feel better, go ahead, that works too. If you're having some issues doing that, you can just do you can come down on your knees for that push-up part, or you can grab a chair. Put your hands on that chair. So imagine there's a chair right here. Then you kick your feet back behind you, then push up. I can't really do it because I don't have a chair in front of me, but then when you come back up, you can either still do the hop, or you can do a step up onto the chair. And if you want to make that tougher, you're going to go and do the full burpee. So when you come back up, instead of doing a regular jump, you're going to do a tuck jump. So that'll make that tougher for you there. Next exercise is going to be single leg glute bridges. So this, you're going to lay on your back. You're going to have your feet out in front of you, evenly spaced apart, then stretch out one leg, and then you're just thrusting. You're going to keep your shoulders on the ground, and then you're just thrusting your hips up in the air, squeeze at the top, and then come back down. So I'll show you from the side. So like this, and back down. So for that, you're gonna want to alternate legs each time, or do 4 rounds with the right leg, 4 rounds with the left leg. So you'll switch up those legs that are straightened out, which one's bent, that you're using. That'll focus on each side of your glutes and really get those things firing. Sorry, my bad. To increase the intensity of that, make it tougher on yourself, just go ahead and add some weight. And if you're having some issues doing that with a single leg, just go ahead and drop down both legs, and you can just do both feet on the ground and do them both at the same time to get that good glute activation. Next up, we're going to do flutter kicks. So you're going to be lying on your back once again, so you don't even have to get up if you don't want to. And then you're going to have your hands out to the side. If you want to make it easier, you can put your hands underneath your butt, or you can just put them up on your chest. But feet out in front of you, 6 inches off the ground, and then you're just going to chop them like so. Increasing the intensity of that, just go faster. And then to make that a little bit easier, if you can't quite do the choppiness, just try to hold your feet 6 inches off the ground for the whole 20 seconds. That's still going to give you a pretty solid workout there. So next up, we're going to do single leg RDLs. So what you're going to do is stand on one leg, pull up one leg behind you, and then you're going to basically keep this leg straight. You can bend it just a little bit at the knee, but what you're gonna do is just gonna bend at the hips, taking whatever weight you have, and then you go to the ground with it, or close to the ground, just above, and then come back up. You're gonna wanna squeeze that posterior side, so your hamstrings and your glutes are gonna be primarily used there. So yeah, just take whatever dumbbell or cans you have sitting around the house, water bottles, and then just go down. Oop, lost my balance, my bad. If you need to hold on to something, do that too. Come back, come down, and squeeze those on the way back up. And then, so same thing as the glute bridges, you're gonna wanna switch up those legs, either every other time, or do 4 rounds with one leg, 4 rounds with the left leg. I don't really care how you break it up. Just break it up. It's that way you're doing 4 of each leg. So you can do 2 and 2, 1 and 1, 4, 4, whatever you wanna do. And then just increasing the weight on that, make it easier, or sorry, make it tougher. And then, like I said, if you need to hold on to something, go ahead and do that. If you're really struggling with balance, that's fine too. You can either just practice standing on one leg with no help, or you can do the deadlifts. Just grab 2 weights in your hands, and then you're gonna bend at the waist, bring that weight down, and then squeeze those hammies and glutes on the way back up. Really engaging those hips there. So then we're gonna do plyo push-ups. So these are just gonna be like regular push-ups, except you're gonna jump in them. So it's gonna be like this, come down, and then hands off the ground. That's a little tough. Come down to your knees, do the same thing, come down, and then push up. And then if you wanna make that tougher, just come down, and then clap each time. So biggest thing there is going to be, we're working on explosiveness with those. So even if you have to drop your knees, still try to push yourself up off the ground, even just a little bit, that works. If that's still a little tough, just go ahead and go to the wall, like stand up on a wall, and then just practice pushing yourself up on the wall, and then like so you can kind of angle yourself on that wall to where you can do the push-ups, but then just kind of push yourself off, get that explosiveness. That's what we're working on there. And then if you're doing the harder version, you know, just try to get as high as you can off the ground, get a clap. If you can get 2 in, that's great. That's the big thing there, is just working on that explosiveness. So number 6, we're gonna do bend over rows. So show you from the side. What you're gonna do is just like feet about hip width apart. You're gonna take your weights in both hands, and then you're gonna hinge at the hips, push that butt back, and then you're gonna allow your hands to come down. What you're gonna wanna do here is keep your back flat, keep that chest up. Keeping that chest up will keep that back flat primarily. Try not to overarch, but you know, if you have a mirror or something you can look at, or just imagine you got like a logo on your shirt, you're trying to make sure that somebody can at least see it. That kind of helps me envision where I'm trying to be. But the weight should be about knee level, maybe a little bit at your shins. But you're gonna hold it out in front of you, and then you're just gonna pull this back. You're gonna squeeze that mid upper back, and then you're gonna come back down. So even if you don't have any weight, just do those slower, get that good muscle contraction, pinch that back, and then come back down slowly as well. Really the big thing there is just getting that good muscle contraction, so don't be just like rushing through it. And like making it easier, just take the weight away, focus on that muscle contraction, make it tougher, increase that weight. And then the back half of this exercise will be reverse flies. So I'll show you 2 different ways. So it's the same kind of stance as the bent over rows, but you're holding the weight out like this, not like this. So like this, and then you're gonna pull it out behind you. So then squeeze at the top. You're gonna squeeze the back of that shoulder and the mid upper back right there to get that good muscle contraction of that of that deltoid. What am I thinking of? So yeah, big thing there is just same thing as the bent over rows, good muscle contraction. If you want to increase the weight, go for it. If you don't want to do any weight, just focus on getting good squeeze of the muscle. That's the biggest thing there. And once again, don't just be rushing through that. If you want to see it from the side, same kind of thing. Just up and out and back. You can kind of keep a slight bend in the arms. They don't need to be locked down straight. But just make sure you should be feeling it back here and in your mid upper back. And then lastly, we have jackknifes. So for the bent over rows and the reverse flies, you can alternate those if you want, or you can just do 4 of each and 4 of each. However you want to break that up, kind of get some autonomy there, however you want to do it. And then lastly, we'll do jackknifes. So you're just laying out flat, then you're gonna have your hands out, and then you're just bringing your leg up, opposite hand to that foot. So left foot up, right hand to it, then back down. Right foot up, left hand to it, and then come back down. Biggest thing there is just trying to get it as close to that foot as possible. If you can't quite get to your foot, just go to your knee, or as far as you can reach on that leg. That's really what we're focusing on there. Just trying to get up. You may really getting that core activation to get yourself up to that foot. And then also, if you want to make that tougher, just go ahead and increase the intensity on that. You can really get fast with it, and that'll make it a lot tougher on yourself. Biggest thing, just make sure you hydrate, eat well before you go out here. If you're doing that, especially if you're doing it outside, these rounds catch up to you pretty quickly. You'd be surprised how tired you can get just off of what seems like a pretty simple workout. And then between each round, just take a 1, 2, 3 minute rest. Don't take any longer than 3 if you can help it. Between each exercise, to allow yourself to hydrate, cool down for a second, and then get back to the next exercise. That's pretty much it though. So hope you guys enjoy the workout. Thanks for joining, and have a great 4th of July weekend. See you next time.